Okay, hi everyone. Lesson 5 in a continuing series on Avocet, beyond the opening theme section into where he's combining what he's playing with the violin. The violin is playing lead a lot of the time. And to begin with, the guitar's just playing an accompanying riff, and it's essentially Irish jig kind of feel. He's out of D major and now he's into D minor, and the riffs are kind of D minor, mostly pentatonic, but based on D minor chords and C major chords. Okay, to begin with, this is following on from that last bar in the previous section. If you can recall that, which is something like this. And we finished on a D chord last time as a kind of conclusion to that section, if you wanted to finish it there. And he goes straight from there into... now it's a riff where the notes are actually this, so that's the D bass, and then A and D here, and then this is not how he plays it. I just want to show you the open position notes to begin with, to explore his actual choices and to think about why he might have made the choices he did. So if I play a little bit slower but in time, so the first part is the D bass and the A and D. Then we go to the F on the 4th string, 3rd fret, and open D, and then 3rd fret C on the 2nd string, and that repeats. We're in 9/8 time, so it's a 1, 2, 3, but a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. Now what you can hear is that if I don't mute the strings with this hand, obviously they just ring. I can mute with my right hand, like this, to get closer to his sound. Okay, right, now let's explore the alternatives for that. Let's keep that the same. Now for this, we could do this. Now everything is fretted here. Okay, that's quite neat. If we wanted to stop these first notes with fretted notes, we could do that. It's a bit of a stretch. Or even you might not think that's beyond Bert to invent something crazy like that. But what he actually does, and you can see this very clearly in the video, is he puts the D power chord as it is up here. Alright, that's on strings 5, 4, 3, and then goes up to here. Again, there's an alternative there which would be this. On the 3rd string. But he goes for the same 3 strings. It's all on the same 3 strings. Up to the F there on the 8th fret, 7th fret on the 3rd string index, and the little finger comes down on the C on the 10th fret here. So fingers 1, 3 and 4, and then the middle finger slides up to 8, then you've got the index and little finger here, not using this one. So that gets into quite a groove for a while. You see, it's quite a jump to to get from there back to there. But that's how he's playing it. Then once the violin joins in, it's a kind of 5-bar sequence, 2 of these, and then it goes down to a C power chord here, and so this is the last part of the C, as it were, up to the 7th fret on the 5th string, 3rd finger, and index bar in the middle 2, and a kind of like that. Two more of those at the end, okay? So altogether that little sequence is it goes again. That little arpeggio, it's a bit indistinct, and you could just do something like that, okay? Yeah, I'm having trouble getting down to that. Okay. Now, after that's gone through twice, there's a little kind of tag on the end of it to lead into the next section, and that's where he just, instead of doing this, he'll just do this. Okay, there's a kind of cue with him and the violin to lead into a little riff that he plays by himself. I think the violin is joining in unison, second time, but he's got this this jig type melody that he now plays. Okay, and that is right. So slowly, D, A, and the open A. With the right hand, I think just use whatever fingers will do that for you. Then we've got a pull off, 7 to 5 on the 4th string, little finger on the 8th fret of the 5th string. So, okay, that's the first part. Then this index slides down to 3, 3rd finger on 5th fret here, and a hammer on to 5 on the 4th string, and then the open 2nd string to finish. So altogether that first 2 bars, we're in 6/8 now, out of the 9/8 into 6/8. Okay, tempo is something like so 2 bars of that, second time, so that's down to a kind of C, implied C chord there. So you've got pull off from 3 to 1, then the 1 moves down, pull off to open string, and the C on the 5th string. All right. So that's 4 bars. And the next section is slide back up here to the D. So a more extended couple of bars on in the C position then. And the way that works, again starting with the same same 2 bars. Then we've got this, starting with the 203 there, open G, hammer on 2nd string 03. The following bar is pulling off the G, A from the A to the G, and an E, 4th string, and then pulling off the C, C, A, G. Okay. All right. Again. And then there's a little kind of vamp section where he's just doing this. Just holding down the C on the, sorry, the A on the 3rd string, D bass, 4th string D bass, D, A, 6th string, A. And that just goes a couple of times, marking time as it were, before he goes back to right. So the second time through that whole section is the violin joins in with him in unison. So let me just play through that section again. This is what is it, 9, 10 bars altogether. Okay, that's that part. Now that moves on into a nice little section where he's running up, mainly just up the 3rd string, and with his index finger to start with, and it begins with third string 5th fret, and all the way through here the bass. So you start with the beat 1 on the melody note he's playing, and then 1 and 2. And beat 2 is on the 6th string bass, open 6th string, all the way through this section. So a couple of these. You can see my right hand here, if that helps. Go down to 4, up to 7, back to 5, and now he does something different here. 2 fingers. Now the 3rd finger is going to 9 with the index on 7 on 2nd string, so you've got 2 of the same note here. Okay. Back down to here. Now up to 8 and 10. Sometimes after the 6th string bass, he picks strings 3 and 2, but mainly it's 2 and 1. So always 3, 2, almost always 3, 2, 1 in terms of string numbers. 3, 2, 1, 6, 2, 1. From there he goes back down to here, up to 12 and 10. Stays there for a little bit. 12 and 14. Alright. So it's all pretty kind of random, that, semi-random anyway. He's got a broad idea for where he's going, but he's moving up and down. So let me go through that again. 5th fret, 4th fret, 7, sorry, 7 and then 5, 9, 7, 10, 9, 12, 12, 14. Now, different section. Sorry, 7. finger on 10. So this is 1 and 2, and all 3 strings together there. Okay, and that goes to the same thing to start with: 7, 0, 0, 10 on 4th string. An alternative there, because you can't actually see in the video what he's doing here. It could be the second time. But actually I think, and you may agree, that's much more straightforward, yeah? Goes through a couple of times. And he comes down from there like this. So to start with, sorry. Or maybe but followed by open A, G, and then down to here, 2nd fret, and then a little tying up phrase, which is this. So that's a pull off on the 5 and 3 on the 4th string, open 3rd, and then so this triplet here starts with a very quick pull off on the 4th string. But that's essentially what it is. Yeah. Okay. And that's basically the end of that. End of the Irish, the Irish jigs and reels section. Sorry, technically speaking, slip jig is the 9/8, and the basic jig is the 6/8.